Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at Hyperion and why exactly I still believe that Hyperion is one of the top champions in the Cosmic class and possibly even in game. And so first off we're going to start with a fairly traditional fight against Winter Soldier over here, just to show that Hyperion can actually throw some really good punches. So the biggest kind of asset Hyperion has is his power gain and his furies of heavy attacks, and that combined with a level 2 stun can do some really great damage. But for the longer fights it's often quite useful to throw your level 3 first, to which you can get extremely quickly thanks to Hyperion's power gain. Because level 3 will give you those cosmic charges which increase Hyperion's physical resistance and attack quite substantially. Now I did make a small mistake over there, but it's all fine and didn't take too much damage from it. But now we drop our level 2, stun opponent, land a heavy attack, stun is still active, so we can start a new combo, push ourselves past 2 bars of power again. And that is exactly how Hyperion can be extremely effective at farming potions in Realm of Legends as well, because you don't have to worry about opponent's level 3. What you can do is kind of semi-stun lock opponent, drop your level 2s, drop your heavies, refresh your furies, combo in him, drop another level 2, rinse and repeat, basically as long as stun procs. But obviously that's kind of RNG based, but even if the stun doesn't proc, it's not the worst thing in the world. But as you can definitely see, this Winter Soldier is going down really quickly, and all of these furies from heavy attacks definitely do increase our damage quite substantially. That was like 24k, 22k, 13k non-crit, there was an 8k medium crit. And yeah, Hyperion can be a real power puncher if he stacks up his furies with heavy attacks. And note that I'm also not using any of Hyperion's synergies, any of the cosmic synergies that would help extend the length of his furies or potency. So 100 hits, but those 100 hits are also quite misleading because the fight is really fast paced, you rely on stunning opponent a lot. But the real reason why I believe Hyperion is still one of the top champions in the game and has aged extremely well is because of how versatile he is and how can you alter his playstyle to match your needs in the fight. For instance, I'm almost willing to bet that quite few people didn't know that Hyperion is actually extremely effective electro counter, even though Hyperion doesn't technically have any abilities to counter Electro's damage which you receive while striking him. However, Hyperion's level 1, a vast majority of his level 1 does not make contact with the opponent. Therefore, utilizing Hyperion's power gain, you can just keep spamming your level 1s and you pretty much will take no damage back aside from that one initial punch, which isn't like all that much. So as you can see here, it's a 20k Electro, and we are still above 90%. We only have taken damage back like a couple times from first hit of level 1. Aside from that, the Incinerate and the level 1 does all the damage to Electro, and we pretty much don't have to worry about Electro shock damage. So that is quite handy, and that's just one of the many examples how you can use Hyperion's level 1 to bypass opponent's defensive ability accuracy, because basically if something bad happens while you touch the opponent, Hyperion can get around it quite easily. Now we're going to be taking a look at variant 2 fight, basically for extra large champions only, and how Hyperion can get around, for instance, power gain nodes, because level 1 in itself doesn't really give all that much power to opponent, and you can spam multiple level 1s before opponents reach a full bar of power. Now I do occasionally weave in a heavy attack just to gain some extra damage via furies, but the point is this fight is actually quite difficult to deal with because that green goblin has very tricky special attacks and you don't want to be taking too many of them in your block. Also, sometimes he can refuse to throw his special attacks, and in general he has 100% increased power gain, which makes fight a lot difficult for most of the opponents in the game. But Hyperion has absolutely no problems dealing with this guy due to multiple reasons. Number one is, that level 1 does not give a lot of power to opponent, and you can just kind of stall and delay the fight and basically make sure that you largely throw only your level 1s. Additionally to that, Hyperion does place a lot of debuffs on opponent with his level 1, so you do mitigate any and all heal that Green Goblin would get via his abilities, and he's much easier to take down. As we saw here, 68 hits, but that hit counter is definitely very misleading. We hardly had to touch that green goblin outside of throwing our level 1 attacks. Now, another thing that Hyperion has and definitely often is overlooked is his healing ability. Later in this fight, I will demonstrate just that, how we can use his heal extremely easy after dropping a level 3 attack to activate it and kind of mitigate any chip damage you receive or to fix any mistakes you have made. Also, all the things I have mentioned before, plus Hyperion's heal, pretty much makes Hyperion a really good AQ champion, because he is extremely potent when it comes to dealing with vast variety of different matchups, and he has heal. That is incredible for Alliance Quest. Even in map 7, Hyperion often is one of the MVP champions. And to trigger that heal, you just need to dash back, hold your block for a bit, which is not the hardest thing to do anymore these days. And basically, once you drop your level 3, you can get your 3 cosmic charges. Obviously, Hyperion's heal does come with a cost, and you lose your power gain buffs for quite a while. However, if you do rely on spamming your heavy attacks, you can still kind of gain a lot of damage even without that power gain. Even without being able to spam your special attacks, you can get a bunch of fury on you. Now there I was delaying the fight kind of a bit on purpose, just trying to finish on as high health as possible, just demonstrate that heal actually is also quite potent, especially if Hyperion is duped. Now, another thing that speaks volumes about quality of Hyperion is the fact that I'm grabbing all of these fights from different quests and variants in Act 6, everywhere basically, because Hyperion is one of those few champions in the game that has been great for pretty much all of the content Kabam has been putting out, and that is kind of like the secret of Hyperion. He might not be the flashiest champ, but he might not be always like the cut out perfect answer for every quest or every fight, but just the ability to access so many different utility tools, why that power gain, why damage over time, why armor break, why a stun, why increased physical resistance, why being able to fight opponents with hardly actually touching them or making hardly any physical contact, with being able to throw special attacks without needing to kind of parry or actually hit opponent a lot, has made Hyperion one of the most versatile endgame characters in the game that is actually extremely viable to use in a variety of different situations. You can adjust your playstyle, change the speed of the game. If you want to do a lot of damage, you're free to do it. Spam your heavy attacks, spam your level 2s. You're going to be toasting opponents extremely quickly. You want to play a bit more passive, you can do that. Keep throwing your level 3s, level 1s, and you can win the fights without hardly ever having a need to touch your opponent. And you can accomplish a lot by that. Also, the additional access to special attacks and increased power gain basically lets you push opponent to whichever specials you desire. So if there's a difficulty weight level 1, you can definitely utilize that power gain to push opponents to special 2 extremely easy. And this fight I just wanted to add in to show that Hyperion can also be a raw damage champion. So this is a 6-2-1 opponent, Cable on like Vigor node, and we're going to see just how quickly we are able to dispatch him. Keep in mind that a heavy attack on Hyperion is 5 hits and a level 3 is like 3 hits, I believe. But at this point we're 28 hits in, and that Cable is dead. We're finishing on 36 and another heavy attack, a couple more, 41 hits, but vast majority of that was like just dropping a heavy. He can dispatch opponents extremely quickly. His damage output, his burst damage output is also extremely crazy. And now kind of like the last couple of fights, I wanted to show that you can also have some fun on Icarus nodes with Hyperion, mainly because of that super long stun he gets of his level 2. So you can play fairly casually on Icarus, just parry and spam your heavy attacks till such point where you get to level 2. Once you get to your level 2, you need to drop your level 2 and check what's happening. If opponent is stunned, just start punching at them. Your damage output is going to go through the roof. But yeah, anyway, so this was my Hyperion review. The reasons why I think Hyperion is an extremely valuable champion and one of top contenders for top cosmics in the game. And yeah, I definitely wish that more people would use him, less people would overlook him, because everything he does in every single quest has proven him to be one of those steady workhorse champions that can deal with a lot, will deal with a lot, and definitely will help your account and you as a summoner. But anyways, that will be it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the buttons, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya!